All right, guys, doing some adjusting on my carburetor here, and with carts, this shit is really weird, guys. I got the aftermarket fuel jets, pilot jets, the 38 thousandths, um, the whole kit. Um, but when I put the straight pipe on here without a baffle on it, it just seems like it just always wants to die. You know what I mean? Now, I tried other things, like I took this carburetor over here and I bored it out myself with my little tiny bits and got it up to about, probably about 42 thousandths. But that seemed like it was doing the same thing. You almost got to stand on the gas pedal. Now, what's weird is as long as there ain't no load on this thing with the wiener pipe, it does fine. But the second you put load on it, I mean, it's like there is no in between on this thing, guys. If you're too low, it acts like you got to hold the gas pedal. If it's too high, it sputters and pops. It'll stay running, but it just sputters and stalls, kind of. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So I just did a little bit of testing here, and I threw this just a stock Predator engine back on here, and I mean it runs perfect now. It's kind of weird. It needs to be restricted for some reason. What's weird, guys, is like on my mini bikes, I can literally put on the Stage 1 kit without even having to change my fuel jets, and it works fine. But whenever I do it to these go-karts, it sounds fine, works fine when you ain't got no load on it. But when you put a load on it, completely crazy. Now, I've installed one of these babies on here, the VM22 Chinese Makuni. These things will throw you for a loop on a go-kart because it'll act the same way. You put it on your bench, it runs fine, you seem like you got it tuned up right, but the second you put some load on it, it just bogs down. It doesn't, I don't know. Just, there's a big difference when it comes to doing the kart motor, Stage 1, than doing a mini bike motor. And what it is, with these karts, guys, you got to take into consideration your load. These karts are a little heavier than your standard mini bike. And for some odd reason, the weight of this thing is affecting my carburetor. But like I said, we just put the stock muffler back on there, and it evened it right out, balanced it out, took our wiener pipe off. We're actually gonna put it back on, but we ordered the tailpipe muffler silencer for it. See if that bogs it down and restricts it to where it runs correctly like it does now. But really, guys, you probably shouldn't put a straight open pipe on your go-kart. Something about the load on these things, and there's no in between, guys. I went from the 38 thousandths to 42 thousandths. There's just no in between on it. It's kind of weird. But we figured it out, and it's just I'm porting too much exhaust. It's just weird that this is the problem. Like I said, I've done this 100 times to mini bikes. Put the Stage 1 kit on with the wiener pipe that don't even got a baffle on it, and it works perfectly. You know what I mean? Kind of weird. But whenever I put them on these karts, they don't run like they're supposed to. It even did it with my other kart, my orange kart. It's kind of weird. I don't know. But yeah, you got to restrict that muffler a little bit on these karts, man. It's just, I don't know, it's just too much airflow or something, but it just seems like there is no medium balance on them fuel jets. It's the one extreme to the next. It's either too much or too little, and there's no in between. The best thing to do is to restrict that muffler a little bit, guys. If you're having this issue and it's just, everything's working fine, you've did the upgrade kit, all that stuff, but yet you still got to hold the gas to keep it running or it sputters out, I implore you to just take off your straight pipe and just put that stock pipe back on there and see if you get the same effect, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it works fine now. Like I said, we'll put our wiener pipe back on there, but we're going to need the silencer baffle for it to balance out correctly. And the only thing I can figure out why this is doing this, guys, is because this weighs 3 times as much as a mini bike, plus the weight of a full-grown human being. It did the same thing on my other kart. Everything was tuned, put together perfect. In the VM22, dialed in how it was supposed to be dialed in, and it still acted like that. The only way I could fix it is by putting the stock muffler back on. But we're going to get that baffle for our wiener pipe and see if we can restrict it enough to where we can still be looking cool and not have that ugly old muffler on there. But like I said, She works fine now, but I was just porting too much. Something to think about when you're building one of these carts.